everybody to please join me in a round of applause to thank Beth and Jackie for their wonderful leadership and support of Laurel House. Beth, am I holding it right? I'm not used to microphones. Beth, you are amazing. The way that you lead and inspire our staff through crisis after crisis, you effectively and very diplomatically interact with all our stakeholders, our board, our advisory board, and all community organizations. And yet, you always appear to be so calm and unruffled. I said she always appears to be so calm and unruffled through millions of crises. I mean, like every minute. Beth, I don't know how you do it. Jackie, I want to thank you first on behalf of everybody for your unbelievable generosity of both your time and your treasure to Laurel House. But I especially want to thank you for your undying support and your loyal friendship. I know you are always there for me, and I know you will always have my back. You're dismissed. I also want to thank Andrea DeVenny and Betsy Kilkenny for their invaluable help. I am so fortunate tonight to be sharing this evening with my wonderful family and my wonderful friends. There are so many more that couldn't be here tonight, but have supported us with sponsorships, ads, and donations. Your love and your support means so much to me. Thank you so very, very much, all of you. My goal tonight, I mean, after all the other ones that you might not, I was going to say, is just tell you some things that you might not know about Laurel House. You probably do know that Laurel House started as a safe haven shelter in 1980. But did you know that just last year, we provided more than 6,400 days of shelter to more than 190 women and children. Just think, that's 190 lives that have hope now, where before there was just fear and despair. You may know that we provide individual and group counseling and children's support services, both in our shelter and throughout the county. But did you know that we continue to support families in our transitional housing even after they leave the shelter? Did you know about our DART program, where professionally trained advocates are on call 24 hours a day, 7 days a week? These volunteers provide in-person, immediate crisis response on site. They assess the victim's needs, emotional, medical, and legal, while offering support to both the victim and to any children that may be present. As part of DART, we also offer year-round training to hospital medical staff and police officers to help them recognize signs of abuse and teach them how to effectively assist the victims. Did you know that each year our 24-hour hotline responds to well over 1,000 people who are in immediate danger? Did you know that these calls for help come not just from disadvantaged communities? Sadly, some of the most horrific fatalities in the last few years have occurred in the most wealthy and privileged communities in our area. I would encourage you to read the book, Not to People Like Us, about hidden abuse in upscale marriages. Yes, this actually does happen to people like us. Like my dear friends who were awakened early one October morning about 5 years ago by a call that would tragically change their lives and the lives of their family forever. Their son-in-law had just killed their daughter and their 2 young grandchildren before killing himself. Amy lived in a very affluent community on Long Island. She was in the middle of a divorce and had been the victim of emotional abuse. She was not afraid of her husband. He had never actually physically attacked her until he killed her. How many neighbors and friends of yours are prisoners in our upscale communities? Abuse could actually be happening in the homes of people you think you know very well. The faces they show to you in public may be very different from the private hell they live in with at home. Domestic violence remains one of the most unreported crimes in our country because we refuse to talk about it. Most victims feel they are totally alone. In order to break that silence and raise awareness, our community education and outreach programs speak in all schools, elementary, middle, high schools, and colleges, as well as churches and synagogues, local businesses, and community organizations. I am so proud of the work that the board, staff, and volunteers of Laurel House do every day to assist victims of domestic abuse. I have just described only some of the services we provide. I only hope that all of you will continue to help us make a difference, to empower victims and their children to move forward into new lives free from fear and violence. Thank you.